Hello and welcome to the first Your Way podcast for 2024. I hope you are well and that you enjoyed a little bit of a break over the Christmas period. So I felt the need to dive in with an episode that's going to explore doing 2024 your way. It is so easy for us to get into January and be bombarded with all of the stuff that we should be doing, all of the ways we should be feeling bad about ourselves, all the reasons why we should be beating ourselves up for not being quite where we should be. And my offering, which you can take or leave because you do it your way, is that you approach the year in a gentler way than that. And the reasons for this are kind of cyclical with the season. So I appreciate that some of you will be in the Southern Hemisphere gloriously enjoying summer. And this may still be relevant for you, but I'm mostly speaking to those of you in the Northern Hemisphere where it's the middle of winter. It's dark, it's cold, it's a natural time of the year for us to be hibernating and resting. And so then the rhetoric around pushing and forcing and making change and having resolutions and setting goals actually goes against our natural rhythms and kind of where we generally tend to be and what we tend to need at this time of year. And if we go against those natural rhythms, that's where we start to get ourselves into trouble. So really, this is just permission, if you need it, that if you aren't starting the year with a new year, new me, resolutions, goals, let's go, 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 nothing's gone wrong. You aren't bad. You aren't lazy. You aren't terrible. You're just maybe living your life in line with how you are meant to and how people are meant to. Okay. And one of the things that I want to be more bullish about talking about this year are some of the ways that society and life is set up to make us fail, to make us feel bad, to put us in situations and behaving in ways that don't really align to being our most healthy best selves. And this for me really, really is one of them. This is a time to rest. It's a time to go inwards. It's a time to contemplate for yourself. It's like cozy soups and nourishing fires. It's not like training for a marathon or like pushing and striving and depriving yourself of food because you've overindulged, right? This really is not what this time of year is. Now, by all means, have a look at maybe if you did overdo it a little bit over Christmas about how you bring yourself back into nourishing and health, but not from a place of punishment and withholding and generally not being kind to yourselves. So just something for you to think about as you contemplate what you want from this year. It's, can you drown out the noise out there that is all the shoulds or the expectations or the rules of everybody else, to really hone in on, okay, well, where am I? What do I need? What feels good for me? Where are my energy levels at? What are my priorities for this point in time? And what needs to happen so that that's the stuff that I'm doing? Right? We don't need to come out the gate charging towards 2024. And of course, you can if that feels good and that's where your energy levels are at, and that's kind of where your drive and ambition and everything else is. But my point is, there isn't a right way. There isn't this one way that if you haven't got all of your resolutions and goals for the year nailed down by the 1st of January, you failed. So just notice for yourself what is required, where is life leading you, and go with that. Now, you might want to do some gentle intention setting around this time of year. Sometimes people do a word of the year. So it's like it's the thing that's going to keep you on track for the year. So I have had words of the year previously like nourish. I don't tend to do it so much, but if I was to think about what I want from myself and all of the different facets of life and business as I go through 2024, the word that comes to mind for me is balance. How do I create more balance within myself? More being, less pushing, less striving. How do I create more balance in my marriage? Whether that's the power dynamic between us or the times that we're spending together and how we're spending that time together. Whether it is balance in my business and the different facets of my business and what I'm doing in my business. And so for me, balance is a big thing. As I do more work to explore more of who I am and allow other people to do the same. Because I have noticed that I am being called more and more and more to really help people step out of the boxes that they have been put in, the rules that they think they need to follow, the societal expectations, to really break out of that in order to answer those questions of, well, who am I? What do I want? Where is life leading me? How do I do more of that? In a way that might go against the grain a little bit. And so for you, it's just thinking about, I'm creating space and time to think about, okay, well, where is life leading me? What feels good for me? What are my intentions? Where do I want to go? And allowing that to be super flexible. Where we're so regimented of like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it, this is my goals. And there's no flexibility, there's no fluidity in, okay, but now this thing's happened, or that thing's happened, or this went wrong, or this person's now ill, or this life circumstance has happened. How do I flex the plan around that? If we're so regimented that we can't do that, that's where we cause massive amounts of stress and anxiety for ourselves. And where we aren't tuning into our energy levels and what we need and all the rest of it, that's where potentially we cause problems with burnout. Because if we're pushing when every part of us is like, I need to be resting right now, then we're causing problems within our system. So some prompts, if you want them to kind of contemplate as you think about how you want to do 2024 your way. Where are your energy levels right now? What are you being asked to focus your time and attention on? I don't mean from other people. I don't mean what is the boss asking you to focus your time and attention on. I mean, if you pause and quietly go inwards and ask yourself, where am I being led? What is it that I'm being drawn towards? What interests me? Just noticing that. And then what are the things that you want to bring more of into this year? And what are the things that you want to leave behind? What are the things that you want less of this year? And again, what needs to happen so that that becomes your reality? An awful, awful lot of people that I work with, their biggest challenge is time. They might have some tools, they might have some knowledge, but actually the time to implement just doesn't happen because there's always other things, there's other priorities, there's other demands on the precious time that you have. And for a lot of people as well, there's a challenge around, well, I'm not even really sure who I am. So answering the questions of what I want and where life is leading me, again, it's really, really challenging and really, really problematic. So we just want to create more awareness of where we're at, what the challenges are, and what needs to happen so that the year goes the way you want it to. So you might also map out a few different areas of life and just do a bit of a brainstorm around it. Like, what are your desires around your work, your relationships, your family, your health, your fitness, your spiritual practices, if you have them? Like, how does all of that look and what needs to happen so that you can navigate them all in a way that feels really, really good for you. So I hope that is super helpful. I also just want to take a little bit of time to give you a bit of a direction of travel in terms of what I'm going to be up to this year from a business perspective. I'm sure you will hear more about the personal stuff as we go through. So the first thing is that the podcast is going to become a fortnightly thing. So every other week, the podcast will go live. That will continue to be on a Thursday morning UK time. So Thursday evening in the Southern Hemisphere and early Thursday in the States. And you can expect more interviews, more guest interviews, more conversations so that you see so much more possibility about the different ways of going about doing life, business, relationships, all of it your way and on your terms. And what I have recognized in the work that I've done myself and with other people is that there's a lot of recurring themes that come up that are stopping people trusting themselves and living the life that they want. And so my offers this year are all going to be aimed at really tapping into and helping you to move through and explore some of that. So the Find Your Voice masterclass that started in September of 2023, that monthly masterclass will continue. It will continue to be super low cost. So it's £29 a month. If you get in on the early bird, you can generally get it for £19. And what I'm going to be focusing on this year is each month the class will have a slightly different take, and we will be looking at common themes that stop people from being able to express themselves. So whether it's the inability to say no, or fears of kind of conflict, or fears of being cancelled, or fears of being misunderstood, or how do we even know what we want to say in the first place? How do we access all of that? Those themes I'm going to cover in that masterclass each month. So if you've been before, I highly, highly recommend as a kind of default basic position that you get yourself to the Find Your Voice masterclass each month. That is always going to be on the third Monday of the month at 4 p.m. UK time. So for January, it's going to be January the 15th, which is this coming Monday when this comes out at 4 p.m. UK time. And you can sign up for that using the link in the show notes, and you can sign up each month and then you come to each class. There's obviously the Your Way membership. So the Your Way membership is really about diving into the stuff that really, really gets in the way of understanding who we are, what we want, how we want to do life. And that will cover all facets of life, work, and business. And that's really a deep, it's a small group container, but it's a space for community and for exploration. And it's a space where we do things together. So each program will have at least one teach class, one coaching class, and then an implementation class where we kind of put the things together in real time. So you aren't expected to go away and figure it out or do it on your own. And the January and February program inside Your Way is called Existential. And we're really going to dive into these big questions of who am I, what is my purpose, and why am I here? And we're starting the year with that, going along the really the themes of going inwards, resting, hibernating, exploring. So it's very much an internal exploration, but so that you can start to weave together this understanding of, okay, well, this is who I am, this is my purpose, this is why I'm here. So that then when we get to March in the springtime, you're kind of ready and equipped with that stuff and ready to start putting some things into action. So that is the Your Way membership. And there's a new program in there, either every month or every other month. And it's only every other month if the program's big. And so it covers 2 months. So Existential is going to cover January and February. You can find out more about the Your Way membership again in the show notes. And also with that, it's a 12-month membership. Come and speak to me. Come and ask your questions. The sales page is it's very simple, it's very basic, because I want you to come and talk to me about it. Like, that's just to give you an outline. And then just to give you a heads up about something that is coming, there's going to be a middle range offer that will be a monthly recurring program. So you'll be part of a community, but you're not tied in for any period of time. You pay monthly and then you can leave. And that is going to be about helping you really master your time. So it's going to help you achieve what you really want with the actual amount of time that you have. So often we hear people banging on about, like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We don't all have the same 24 hours in a day. We've got our commitments to take account of. We've got our capacity and our energy to take account of. We've got our priorities to take account of. And so often we've got these tools and these skills, but the actual getting down and getting it done doesn't happen because other stuff gets in the way. So time mastery is going to be a real done with you program where we get together every week and you figure out what your priorities are for the week, what you need to do to make them happen. You come and ask for support, and then we do the stuff. We take the steps in real time so that you're putting that stuff in motion rather than just thinking about putting it in motion. So that program will be coming in February. So just keep an eye out on that. But I'm just giving you a heads up. Again, if you want to know more, just come and speak to me. Like, I'm here. I'm happy to have a chat at any point. And that's it, really. And then the last thing is, if you are not already following me on social media, so there's a podcast episode every other week, but I am posting and present on social media daily. So come and hang out with me on Facebook. Again, the link is below in the show notes. And that way you can kind of be part of the online community, but you can get these kind of daily doses of inspiration, of things to think about, of insights, and all the rest of it. So I would love to see you on my social media. And I think for now, that is it for me. So 2024 your way, I would love for you to come and let me know what that is going to look like for you. If you'd like to know anything about any of the other offers, I mean, check out the show notes, but just come and say hi. I don't bite. Not hard anyway. And I will look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks when you can look forward to a fantastic episode with Lucy Maeve, who was on the podcast last year. And we are going to be exploring the right way to do the work. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Take care of yourselves. Happy New Year, and may 2024 go your way.